empire is right there. They represent the empire. Now let me tell you something about my unique qualifications to be here. I was a member of the 11th Group Special Forces. I see some veterans out here. I was also a decorated police officer, okay? So I was committed to the empire, but I had a catharsis. I had a revolution of the mind. And at a very young age, I realized after 6 years as a very aggressive, dedicated police officer and 8 years as an infantry platoon leader and a former member of the Special Forces, that wasn't the way to go. And today, I stand here as a 65-year-old man saying that I'm not here fighting for me, I'm fighting for the young people. I have a grandson, I have a great-granddaughter, I'm fighting for them. These police officers have the power of life and death. You know you're doing something important when they show up. I said, you know you're doing something important when they show up. When they show up, you know you're doing something. You can't get them in the couch to show up for mass murder. But they can show up here because one mind can change the empire. We're here in the city of the chairman, Fred Hampton. These same dark forces right here, along with the Alphabet Boys and the FBI, came in and committed cold-blooded murder of Chairman Fred and Mark Clark. Understand the ground that you stand on, the legacy of this city. What we're doing today is no little thing. It's a big damn thing. And we're doing this for the people. We're doing this for the people. We're doing this to liberate our minds. The minds of people that think that Jim Crow Joe, Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, two wings of the same bird. Both parties are the parties of war. Both parties dropped the bombs in Gaza and dropped the bombs in Lebanon, dropped the bombs in Africa. Both parties support AFRICOM. Both parties support the military-industrial complex. Both parties support the non-profit industrial complex. Both parties support privatization. Both parties, neither one is for universal health care. Neither one is for universal housing. So we don't have a choice but to support an independent candidate like Jill Stein, Dr. Stein, Carly De La Cruz, Dr. West, but we're not gonna be frightened into supporting the Democratic Party. Come on, you ain't gonna scare us. You're not gonna make us emotional. You're not gonna tell us about the boogeyman, because we don't believe in the boogeyman. We're here to support the revolution of the mind, and we're here to do the most important thing. And I'm gonna close with this: we're putting our bodies on the line. Some people have financial capital. Most of them aren't here today. Some people have social capital. Most of them are here, but we have physical capital. We have our lifeblood. And as the Hebrew Messiah, the melanated Messiah said, "No man take my life from me. I lay it down for you." So some of us may pay the ultimate price. It might be me. But if I die, my death should not be in vain. My death will be for freedom. Viva la revolution.
We had confirmation from all three presidential candidates that are running on third party. Round of applause. The others are trying to make their way here, but somebody that we have standing right over here is none other than my former running mate, Dr. Jill Stein.
Sherry, you will always be my running mate. No question about that. And thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone for being here, for marching in from Milwaukee, from Florida, from North Carolina, from Washington, from DC. We are all over. We are what America looks like. We are the real convention here. We are the real presidential and political convention, as opposed to the convention over there of the empire. That is the imperial convention, much like the Republican convention. It's not about us. It's not about what we need. It is about Wall Street and the war machine and the endless wars and the genocide going on in Gaza right now and the war on working people right here at home. And we are here to say, and I want to thank everyone so much for being this community of love, for being who we are, for being Martin Luther King's beloved community. That's what we are with each other and for each other and across so many fronts of struggle. Because when we get together across those fronts of struggle, we're absolutely unstoppable. Those who are here leading the charge, for the right to housing, for quality housing for everyone as a human right. Let's hear it for you. Let's hear it for you. And it's all of America, really, who's fighting for housing right now. 50%, 1 out of every 2 Americans is really struggling to keep a roof over their heads. It's absolutely astounding. It's not just, the poorest of the poor. It's really throughout the middle class. It is so many Americans who are paying up to 50% of their monthly income just to keep a roof over their heads. Meanwhile, we have gentrification going on. People are being thrown out of their housing, and the housing is being gentrified, and the rent is being raised, and people are being booted out. And meanwhile, you have private equity buying up our housing in community after community, creating this shortage. Well, we know it is shame, especially because we can fix this. We can fix this right now. We need a federal, national program of rent control to stop gentrification in its tracks. We need to end the buy-up of housing by private equity, buying up our apartments and our single-family homes and condos and so on. They're buying it all up, and then they're sitting on it. And we've got about 4 times as much empty housing now as we have people who need that housing. This is a created crisis. This is a created crisis in order to boost rents and boost profits. And in a nutshell, that is the problem with Democrats and with Republicans, because they are bought and paid for by the lobbyists and the big donors, from big real estate, from the health insurance companies, by big pharma, by the fossil fuel industry and the nuclear, and dare we say APAC and the war industry. So we don't need that. Just by cutting our military budget in half, because it's eating up half of our congressional dollars every year. By cutting that in half, we then have the dollars that we need, especially when we enact Medicare for all. Because it doesn't cost us, it actually saves us money. 1 out of every $3 right now is going into paper pushing and bureaucracy and red tape. We need to put healthcare dollars into real healthcare. If we're actually delivering the programs that the American people are clamoring for, we can have healthcare as a human right for everyone. We can have affordable, quality housing for everyone as a human right. We can have quality schools. We can bail out student debt now. We can bail out medical debt right now. And we can end the climate crisis with a Green New Deal, an emergency Green New Deal that will phase out fossil fuels in the next decade. Don't believe what the Democrats tell you by any means. And of course, don't believe what the Republicans say either. And speaking of which, we can also solve the migration crisis. The most important thing we can do is to stop causing it in the first place. By ending regime change and endless wars and the climate crisis and the war on drugs. All of this we can fix. And then we can, of course, instead of funding a wall, we can actually fund the migration attorneys, the civil services, so that we can rapidly screen and provide papers for people so that migrants can go to work. Migrants make our country safer, they make our country more prosperous, and they actually are not the ones bringing the drugs. Those are Americans which are bringing the drugs. And by the way, we are going to decriminalize drugs so that we are treating substances as a public health issue, not a criminal issue. All of this can be solved. I urge you, take this election by the horns. Do not allow them to intimidate you into terrifying you, into extorting you, into voting one way or another. Nobody owns our votes but us. Politicians have to earn our votes. They don't own our votes. We can do this. We can fix these problems. So go to jillstein2024.com and join the team. Remember, there are going to be 3 pro-genocide candidates on the ballot. There will be 1 anti-genocide, anti-war, pro-worker climate emergency campaign on the ballot across the country. So don't let them tell you that we can't win this election or that we can't fight like hell and really change forever the landscape of politics and put people back in and take the corporations out. Thank you so much.
All right. Our next speaker, I always mess up with Jill Stein. From the Brown Berets.
Thank you, comrades. It's a beautiful day to start a revolution, yes. My name is Jill Stein. I'm the regional commander of the Brant Berets. My region is the north direction of the land, and we have chapters nationwide. And we're always, on the movement. We're always supporting the revolution, and Jill Stein saying a lot. And pretty much that's what we're looking for. We're looking to change this. We're tired of it. We're not gonna put up no more with it. With whatever they send into Israel and Ukraine, we easily can cover healthcare, housing, and education for all. And that's what we are looking for. I want to thank everyone, and I want to encourage everyone to be safe when we start marching, because these people, they wanna change the thing. They wanna intimidate us, thinking that it's not our right to do so. And it is, because when we being oppressed, we need to stand up. We need to stand up for ourselves. We need to stand up for this new generation that's coming. And I hear, they're gonna say a self-esteem is considered as a weapon. That's what they're saying. But we're not gonna get intimidated by it. We're gonna keep moving forward, and anything they do is gonna work on our favor. Anything they do, any press movement that they do, is gonna get more change the system. Thank you very much.
All right. Next up, we got Zoe G from the Green Pty of Cook County.
Hi everyone, my name is Zoe G. I'm an anti-poverty activist. 30 years ago, I came to this country from China because I was led to believe America have solved the poverty because America was the richest country in the world. I came to graduate school in order to learn how Americans solve poverty. I was utterly disappointed and disillusioned. Actually, what I find out after 30 years, the Republicans make poverty. The Democrats maintain the poverty. The duopoly makes sure that the corporate America will profit from the poverty. Chicago, the Republicans does not play here. It's the Democrat that oppressed the poor, displaced the poor. I don't know how much you know about the Cabrini Green neighborhood. 20 years ago, the city of Chicago torn down thousands of homes for the Black Americans in Chicago, with false promise they will return. 20 years later, 140 families are still living in Cabrini Green. 440 units are still there, empty, boarded up. For 20 years, it was a hidden secret. Only I find out that 3 weeks ago when I did a little march against the police brutality in that Cabrini Green. So, we are calling the right of return to Cabrini Green. Just like the people in Gaza, they are being displaced. The people, the Black community have the absolute right to stay in Chicago. They cannot be ethnic cleansed as the Palestinian ethnic cleansed from Palestine. Free Palestine, the right of return to Cabrini Green.
Our next speaker is Minister Khalid from Milwaukee. Minister.
Peace and love, everybody. I said peace and love, everybody. Y'all ready to march for our freedom? When I say all of us, you say or none. All of us? Or none. All of us? Or none. All of us? Or none. And that's how we got to think. Because we said it, our sister just taught us about Cabrini Green being torn down 20 years ago. And they displaced thousands of families. But this land was founded by a so-called black man, right? And that John Baptiste Gustavo, correct? And we also want to give homage to the first world nations that was over here first too. We're talking about the Ojibwe. We're talking about the Odawa. We're talking about the Potawatomi. Asheo. Aho. The thing is this. We are here because we are tired of suffering. If you're tired of suffering, say yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you're tired of being trampled on as a people, say yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you're tired of being lied to by politicians, say yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have to change the way they do politics. If they said that the power is in the people, then what are the people willing to do to change their own conditions? The Most High teaches us in our religion that the Most High will not change the conditions of a people until a people are willing to change the conditions within themselves. I said change the conditions within ourselves. We put these people in play. We give these people our money. We give these people our dollars. We invest in big business. We invest in corporations. We invest in prisons. We invest in all of the poverty that's happening right now. Because we are not courageous enough to take a stand and shut these corporations down. Or you got all of these workers working to stay in poverty. If they stop working, then how they make money? I'm talking about the corporation. America is a corporation. We're talking about big business government. We're talking about empire. We are not talking about the people. We the people was a trick to trick you into buying into a business that they wanted to use you as a mechanism to destroy, control, and conquer other countries. And then say that you are supposed to be a part of American dream. What type of American dream is this when I'm constantly in a nightmare? I haven't awakened from the nightmare. Have you awakened from the nightmare? No. So what is an American dream? The American dream is only for the top upper class 1% empire in this country. They are the only ones who can share the American dream. We do not share the American dream as a people who are oppressed and at the bottom of America. We share the nightmare. I said we We share the nightmare. And we are all stricken because our children are going to come behind us fighting the same fight. We go all the way from the civil rights movement, which was talking about civil rights and not human rights. We've been talking about the wrong thing for so long, and they let us do it because they knew we was on the wrong track. But what about human rights? What about every person out here, life having value to it? Corporations and businesses don't care about nothing but the bottom line. And we have people who are running for this country to preserve the corporation, to preserve the empire. This is what the Democrats are doing. This is what the Republicans are doing. They are not in power to make sure that your children eat, that you have a pension, that you're going to college without being stripped of every single resource you have. They're not trying to fight to get you out of poverty. They're not trying to stop wars. They're trying to fund more wars on your backs. I said they're trying to fight more wars on your backs. I said all of us. All of us. All of us. Minister Khalif from the president of All of Us in Wisconsin, and we over 46 states. Peace and love. Shout out to the Poor People's Army, my sister Sherry. Shout out to our sister Jill Stein. Shout out to my boy Galen. Shout out to all of you. All power to the people.
Thank you, Minister. Next, we're gonna hear from tzedekchicago Jewish congregation, Rabi Brant Rosen.
Thank you. So my name is Brant Rosen. I'm the rabbi of tzedekchicago. We are a congregation based here, but we have a global membership of over 400 households. We are focused on core values of justice and solidarity, particularly solidarity with the Palestinian people. Anti-Zionism is part of our core value statement, and it's a guiding sacred principle in most things, almost everything that we do. And I have to say, I am so proud to be part of this army, to be part of the Poor People's Army. You know, Dr. Stein was absolutely right. These are the actual conventions. These are the true conventions. And the Poor People's Army has been standing down the RNC and the DNC for decades now, showing the world what the world can be, what the world should be, and what the world can be. You know, we are here to stand down these political parties that purport to be quote-unquote democratic, but are utterly beholden to corporate interests, to the billionaire class, to multi-million-dollar lobbies, and Dr. Stein was absolutely right. They are bought and paid for. We should make no mistake about that. But the Poor People's Army offers a vision of a different way. We understand that in this world there are those who have power and privilege and those who are considered disposable. But we also know that there is a different world. And it is a world that it is not only possible, but we are living in ourselves right now. It is a world based on equity, on justice, where all share equally in the world's abundance. In Jewish tradition, we have a word for this. It's olam haba, the world to come. But in Jewish tradition, as in many spiritual traditions, we bring that world into this world through our very actions. When we come together in solidarity the way we are doing right now, we are in real time living in that world. We are creating olam haba. We are creating the world as it should be. At the same time, when we talk about the world as it is, we can have no illusions about this. And right now, at this moment, as we all know, we are living in an age of genocide. We can't look away from this. We can't treat this as one issue among many. Many of us who have been marching in solidarity with the Palestinian people and been part of this movement, building this movement for so long, not only for the last 10 months, but for years and years, have been told that we are somehow siloing, that we are treating this as one issue. But this issue is not only an issue, genocide is the issue. It is a universe of issues that touches everything. We are every single day witnessing in real time horrible genocidal violence and mass murder. Last Saturday, Israel carried out an airstrike in Deir al-Balah in central Gaza that killed at least 18 members of the same family, including 11 siblings between ages 2 and 22. 2 weeks ago, in one of the worst massacres of this genocide, over 100 people were killed in a school where they were sheltering in Gaza City. Only body parts were left. There were no intact bodies left from this bombing. And later, and by the way, there were family members, and I'm sure many of you know this because we follow this. Family members had to carry members of their own families away in plastic bags. It was only later that it was confirmed that the bombs used in this attack were supplied to Israel by the United States. In fact, 2 days before this attack, the Biden administration informed Congress that it was approving $20 billion in aid to Israel. That was an additional $3.5 billion above the original aid package.
War criminals!
The Democratic Party is a war party. It is a war party. That is why we are here. That is why we are raising our voices. President Biden and Vice President Harris and presidential candidate Harris are part of the government that has blood on its hands and is putting blood on our hands as taxpayers. We know this. We know that Pentagon contractors like Lockheed Martin and Boeing and Northrop Grumman are major donors to the Democratic Party. We know, because we are not stupid, that it is with this corporate support comes the expectation of influence. We know that when war is profitable, you will very likely see a lot more of it. At the same time, we are building a movement that is saying enough. We are building a movement that is saying we are not accepting that the world should be divided into the powerful and the privileged and the disposable. We are building a movement that is connecting the dots between what is going on in Palestine, Israel, to right here in the United States with police departments and mass incarceration right here at home. We are building a movement that is standing down the use of billions and billions of dollars for war while we are ignoring our very own right here at home. As a rabbi and as a Jewish person, I am honored to say that there is a growing Jewish presence in this movement. In the Palestine Solidarity movement, but also in the anti-capitalist, anti-war, and anti-racism movement. That is all really just one movement. So it is my honor and my privilege and my pleasure to stand alongside in solidarity with all of you, to be part of this Olam Haba, to be part of this world as it should be that we are creating. And we will continue to lift up our voices. We will continue to demand that no one look away from what is going on so that we can bring that world to bear. Al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, for all who dwell on earth. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rabbi. Our next speaker is a powerful leader from Milwaukee, Suleiman.
How y'all doing out there? We can do better than that. It's beautiful today. How y'all doing out there? We here for a righteous cause, y'all. We here to free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Gaza. Free Gaza. Children deserve to hear birds, not bombs.